You are definitely a unique interview for me because most are very worried about what other people think. So you already had that part.
I had that unconditioned. I think it's a journey, it was a journey for me to release my attachment to the opinions of others. So it wasn't instantaneous.
Right.
We're all conditioned from
Yes.
childhood to pay attention to the opinions of others. You're getting an A from a teacher, you're getting a good report from a manager, you're getting praise from your parents, you're getting praise from, and we're conditioned to rely on praise and acceptance from others in
Right.
order to feel okay.
Right.
But if you think about it,
Hello, beautiful butterflies, and welcome back to another Silver Sister interview. I cannot wait for you to meet this beautiful butterfly and hear her gray hair story.
my name is Allison Phillips. I was actually originally born and raised in Trinidad and Tobago. I've been in the US for, I think, 35 years.
Okay.
I came here just before I turned 20
Mhm.
and lived in Massachusetts for about 25 years. And now I'm in Hotlanta, Georgia.
I love having a short hair twin on here I can vibe with. So, when did you notice, maybe not your first gray hairs, but when did your gray hairs first start coming in?
Well, I remember it because it was
Oh,
right after I had my first son,
mm,
and he's 26.
okay.
So I've got the timeline. It was right around the age of 30.
Okay.
Right
Okay.
around the age of 30. And my
All right.
mom grayed really early too. So,
Mm.
yeah.
It's funny how genetics work because one of the myths is people think that you only in your advanced years get gray hair, but we get it a lot younger, but we color it a lot. So a lot of people don't know how young
It
you can go
starts,
gray.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do any of your kids? Well, he's 26, so maybe not.
Both my kids have one gray strand, like right here.
Hmm. That's so interesting because
One is 18 and one
Mhm.
is 26. And they both found, Mom, what is this?
Wow. My brother he had a cute little patch. It was like two or three hairs, and now it's more. He's in his 30s, but he was also about 18 or in his teens when he
Oh,
got that.
yeah,
My
yeah.
father prematurely grayed in his 30s that I could see. So it is definitely a genetic component,
Yeah.
that.
Sometimes it is, yeah.
Who or what inspired you to embrace your gray?
It's more of a what than a who,
Mhm.
because the moment that I decided to go gray, I just got lazy and I was wearing hats and caps because I
Mm.
just didn't want to color and cut and trim my hair and all that. So I was just being lazy.
Mhm.
And I had never seen my gray hair curly. You would see it coming in and
Right.
slap some dye, get that thing out.
Right.
And normally I had a buzz cut like right here, and
Mm.
I have to buzz it off and then color that little bit of hair, right,
Wow.
without getting my scalp stained.
Right.
I was doing that for, I think I had the buzz cut for about a year and a half, about a year.
Mhm.
And so I just was wearing wraps and caps because I just didn't feel like doing my hair.
Mhm.
And I never looked at my hair because when I would wash it, I would be in the shower and I would twist it up in the shower,
Mhm.
wrap it in a towel. And then when I come out, I didn't care because I was going to put on a wrap and a cap.
Right.
And finally, about almost 3 months, I'm like, Allison, stop being lazy, do your hair. I'm like, okay, fine, time to do the hair. And so I pulled out my trimmer, my clippers, my hair dye, everything, right? And I go in the shower. I go into my bathroom. I have like a three-way mirror. And the
Mhm.
first thing I do is buzz the undercut. So I
Mhm.
look at the undercut and I was like, what? And that was the very first time I saw the
Wow.
coily gray hair. I had never seen my hair coily and gray.
Wow.
And I looked at it and instantly I was like, oh, that's cute. And then all of a sudden, societal conditioning clashed with my natural love for my hair. Because we are raised to believe that gray hair's for grannies. I'm
Yes.
not a granny,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
so I could feel within me the clash of that heavy societal conditioning, color it, color it, color it,
Mhm.
and my true authentic self going, but I like it. It's cute. Because here I was ready with my hair dye and everything. And I just dropped everything. I
Mhm.
walked away
Mhm.
and I just waited a few days. to see if I really felt that way or if I was losing my mind,
Right, right.
and literally, every day, every morning I woke up, I still was wearing wraps and caps. Every morning I woke up, I would look in the mirror again and I would see the curly gray hair and it was shiny because there
Mm,
was like nothing in it, right? It was just
right.
natural gray, shiny curls.
Mhm.
And every time I looked at it, I'd be like, but it's cute. I can't color that. And probably about 4 or 5 days later, I'm like, you know what? I'm embracing my gray hair.
Right,
And
right.
that was it. That was it. And usually when I make a decision for something, I just make the decision. I don't consult with anybody. It's like, what do
Okay.
you feel, Allison? And that's it. You know what I
Got
mean?
it.
And so that's when I decided to just keep it.
I like that. Keep it, because
Yeah.
that's what it is. It's already
It's
there,
already
but
there.
you just decided, "I'm gonna keep
Well,
it."
I'm a single mom, and I will
Okay.
tell you that I don't think the way other people think.
Mhm.
If I want to do something, I know this is what my soul is here to do, and
Mm.
I do it. I don't look to anybody. I don't ask for anybody's opinion. I'm not checking in with nobody. My two sons who live with me, who's 26 and 18, literally went into my room and I cut off most of the black,
Mhm.
but I couldn't stand to cut it all off to this. So I cut
Mm.
off a little bit,
Mhm.
enough to color it with gray Mofajang. I was calling it Mofajang. I mean, I'm from the Caribbean, Mofajang.
Right.
Your video, and you said Mofajang, and I'm like, ooh, that must be the bougie way to put that. Okay, Mofajang. You know what I call it now? Zhang Zhang. I'm gonna put some Zhang Zhang in there. When I cut off the top and then I covered it with, it was white Mofajang. Didn't go with the gray because my hair was black and I figured black and
Mm.
white made gray. So I put
Right.
the white one in there,
Mhm.
and then I just sauntered out of my room. I didn't tell anybody. And my son was like, "Oh, it looks nice."
Mhm.
I didn't realize that they both thought that I was faking gray. They
Wow.
didn't know I was great. And I don't talk to my kids about what I'm going to do with myself. I just do my do,
Right, right, right.
And they, for a while, thought I was just faking the gray. And when my first son said, "Oh, it looks nice," I was like, "Yeah, but it's black on the top and I'm going to cut it all off." Because the minute I put the gray on and I
Mhm.
was, the white Mofajang
Mhm.
and I was fully gray, I was like, I'm going to cut it all off,
There
like
you go.
instantly.
Wow.
But I kept that black top on for about a week.
Okay.
And then after that, it was like, okay, I'm done. I only told them when they commented on my hair. Like I wasn't
Mhm.
checking in with them or anything. So when my older son said, "Oh, it looks really nice," when it was a little higher, I
Mhm.
said, "Yeah, but I'm going to cut it all off." He went, "All of it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then my second son, he was commenting on it too. And I was like, "Yeah, but I'm going to cut it all off." And he goes, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because I want it all silver."
Mm.
But I still didn't know that they didn't realize
That
this
you
was like
right,
my real hair. Like
right,
this is for real, for real. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
They didn't realize it. And I had to like educate them on the fact that my
Mhm.
hair is actually gray. I have been unconditioned
Mm.
in my spiritual awakening
Mm.
from looking to other people and asking what other people think. I'm so aware that anytime you ask someone else for their opinion, it's fine to do that.
Mhm.
But be aware that when you're asking for what other people think, you're essentially saying, "Hey, Nina, based on how you were raised, your filters in life, what you like, what you don't like,
Mhm.
everything that's all about you, what do
Mhm.
you think?" If I'm asking you, what do you think? I'm just getting your perspective based on
Right,
your life experiences.
right.
So, what does that have to do with me?
Mm.
Nothing. You know what? It wasn't until that moment, Nina, that I realized how heavily programmed we are
Mhm.
with regard to gray hair. When I was coloring my hair for 25 years, it was just what you do.
Color. Right,
Just what you do. It's not, you
right.
don't think about it. It's, yeah, when you get gray hair, you color it. We've been conditioned as women, if gray shows up, color it.
Mhm.
Men are conditioned, if gray shows up, embrace it.
My grandfather, he lived till he was in his 80s.
Mhm.
He did color his hair.
Did he really?
Yes, and my dad for a short time colored it, and then he stopped coloring his hair. I remember Just for Men. I actually
Oh, yeah, that's right. Just for Men is there.
Just
Yeah.
for, but I do agree with you that overall it's more
So
so
it's
us women.
societally, yeah. When men gray, it's like, ooh, they're prestigious. They look,
Yes,
and
yes,
women gray, it's like, girl, what's wrong
r-
with you? You letting yourself go.
right.
So it's
You're right.
that dual
You're right.
standard. So I think it was the societal conditioning of the expectations of women need to color their hair
Right.
is what kind of rose up in that moment,
Got it.
where it was very suppressed before
Mhm.
that moment. I
Mhm.
didn't think about it. I just
Right.
colored my hair because that's
Right.
what you do. Very, very this stark clash of
Right.
societal conditioning and what I truly authentically wanted to do.
Mm.
It was very much you're not supposed to until you're a
Right.
granny,
Got it.
right? So
Got
that's
it.
what arose. Oh, you're not supposed to have
Not
gray yet.
yet. Right.
Yeah.
You're too
Yeah.
young. You're too young.
Yes.
Especially those who prematurely gray. You're too young to have all that gray.
Right.
Even your own boys were like, wait, what? This is yours naturally? You didn't just like do something for a trend?
Right.
What women sharing your story like you're doing and what's happening on YouTube, Instagram, different ones is normalizing that it's not just 70 or 60 that, like you said, that's the time. Because even before I went gray, I set in my mind a date, like you said, this is when it will be socially acceptable, but not right
Right.
now. What was the feedback from others? I know you say that even though that didn't matter because you still made your choice, what feedback did you get when you made that?
Well, keep in mind, Nina, the first time anyone other than my two kids knew that I was embracing my gray
Mhm.
was from that 5-minute video.
That's right.
So everyone was like, wow, you look awesome with that. So I
Right.
never had any other reaction because
Wow.
the first time they saw it was the full story in that 5-minute video that I did.
Got it. Got it.
If you embrace your silver hair and you're embarrassed about it, you are going to attract people who make you feel embarrassed about it. If you embrace your silver hair and you feel fantastic about it, like I literally loved my silver hair. Like I
Right.
love it. I love
Right.
it. When I walk outside, I'm like, woo, girly, look at, I feel that way. I attract everyone that makes me feel even more confident. But if I
Mhm.
walk out and I'm kind of shy, hope nobody notices my
Yes.
gray hair, da, da, da. Maybe they think I'm a granny now. If you're walking around with that cloud of
Mhm.
embarrassment around it, then you will attract people who go, girl, why are you going gray? Girl, why'd you let you go?
Right.
Girl, why did it?
Right.
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 And I came out in the world with that 5-minute video. And so
Mhm.
my 5-minute video says, this is me.
Right.
Feel me,
Right. Right.
And
Right.
so I did that video because it's what I felt. I felt liberated. I felt
Mhm.
confident. I felt like I love this new look. And so every single person in my life experience
Right.
was applauding what I did.
When you go and you present yourself as you are and not looking for, well, what do you think? And do you like it? You also don't leave any opportunity for discussion about it. It's like, no, this is what it is. I'm not looking
There's
for
no
like,
opening.
think.
Yeah. There's no
So,
opening for anything other than acceptance because I've accepted myself and
right.
you can accept it or not accept it. That's none of my business. You know what I
Right.
mean?
What would you say to those who don't feel as confident as you do or who are still conditioned with this, like, what if, and, what are they going to say?
I think it's a journey, it was a journey for me to release my attachment to the opinions of others so it wasn't instantaneous.
Right.
We're all conditioned from
Yes.
childhood to pay attention to the opinions of others. You're getting an A from a teacher, you're getting a good report from a manager, you're getting praise from your parents, you're getting praise from, and we're conditioned to rely on praise and acceptance from others in
Right.
order to feel okay.
Right.
But if you think about it, every single moment of the day, there's somebody in your life that wishes that you were different in some way. How are you going to keep up with that?
Mm.
And if you don't realize that, and the other thing is, you have absolutely no control over what the other person thinks. Their
Say it
perspective
again.
comes, right? You have no control over that. So why spend any of your life trying to make, and that doesn't even have to do with hair. That has to do
Right.
with everything. Why
Right.
spend any moments of your life wanting this person to change their opinion and that person to change your opinion and this person to change your opinion?
Mhm.
That's a waste of lifetime for me. It's like,
Right.
no, I cannot control what anyone thinks about what I do. They
Mhm.
will always have an opinion. There will
Mhm.
always be somebody who wishes I were different. First, embrace it. It's a journey. We were all fully conditioned to rely on the perspectives of others.
Mhm.
But gradually, we can uncondition that because it's a conditioning. But you can
Right.
gradually uncondition that and become more aware in those moments where you're like, I want him to have a different opinion. I want her to have a different opinion. Wait. I have no control over that. She will always have her own opinion. He will always have his own opinion. What is it about me? Because it's you, right?
Yes.
What is it about me that feels like I need to change, have them change in order for me to be okay? If you live your life trying to control what other people think and you have no control over that, that is a recipe for mental and emotional misery forever.
Did you find that once you embraced all the gray that you changed in your fashion or your makeup or jewelry, or how did that change for you?
I would say when I cut, because I've always had hair,
Mm-hmm.
right? In this side of my face or this side of my face, I always had like hair, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And when I cut it all off, I'm like, ooh, girl, you got all this real estate to cover. What is all this? I would tell you from the day that I cut my hair, after brushing my teeth, I do my eyebrows, whether I'm going anywhere or not.
Got it.
I do my eyebrows. That and I had never worn false eyelashes in my life.
Really?
55 years, never worn. I think that there was once in my life that I wore false eyelashes, and that was when I was on the cover of a magazine here in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
But they put it on for me, so I wasn't involved in that.
Right.
So that was the only time I've ever worn false eyelashes. And girl, when I look in the mirror and I see all this real estate, I'm like, we gonna look. So listen, girl, YouTube. This is where YouTube. How to put on false eyelashes. And then another YouTube search, how to take off false eyelashes. And another YouTube search, how to get the glue out of your eyes after you take out false eyelashes. I didn't know any of that. That was like foreign to me. So I had to educate myself on false eyelashes, girl. The first time I put it on, I had like, it was all up here. It was a hot mess. I didn't realize you have to put the mirror under there, put it on. I was like trying to put it on in the mirror.
Girl.
But yes, false eyelashes, changed that. Started wearing rings.
Okay.
I don't know why, but started wearing rings. I have never worn rings like this, but started wearing rings. Went out and bought a whole bunch of rings.
Got it.
Earrings, you know. But I would say the two things is always doing my eyebrows and always, well, I shouldn't say always, but whenever I have a video to do, false eyelashes, which I had never done before, and jewelry. I don't know why the jewelry, but
do you find that you wore more bright colors after going gray, or?
I would say I used to wear a lot of white for whatever reason. I went through a phase of wearing only yellow. That was like my only color. No matter what, I just bought all these yellow tops when I was doing videos. And then that phased out and I was wearing a lot of white. And now this color blue is my color. Like,
I agree.
This color blue is my color. And I don't know why. Like when I cut my hair and I went silver, this color blue was the color that I was most drawn to for whatever reason.
I think blue is an amazing color for gray. First of all, our gray hair just makes everything pop.
When I look at myself and it's like all silver, I just have this feeling of regal, and that's why I was drawn to the blue. I don't know, blue makes me feel regal too. I don't know why, but I don't know. I was just drawn to that color.
First of all, when it first started growing in, did you notice a change in texture from that in your black hair, or?
I don't notice any change in the texture at all.
Okay.
I would say what I noticed when I cut it though. This is one of the surprises, right? Because for a year and a half, I was buzzing this part off, right? Because I had an undercut that was literally buzzed from here back, but I could cover it up. You know, my hair was long enough that I could wear it where it doesn't look like a buzz cut, and I could wear it up where I do look like a buzz cut. But girl, here's surprise number one. When I saw that lovely white curly hair back here, I made an assumption that my entire head was going to be like that. Guess what I discovered? All the part of my hair that I've been buzz cutting for a year and a half was white. Like literally demarked from where I had the buzz cut.
Wow.
And when I shaved it off, literally demarcation, everything that I was shaving for a year and a half was white as snow. And everything above that, like literally a line of demarcation, salt and pepper back here, white in the middle, and like a
Right.
ring of salt and pepper over here. So we just
Wow.
zhang it up, girl. I just couldn't deal. I was so glad to have some zhang. Look,
Right.
whenever I go out,
Mhm.
I just make it one color because it looks mostly one color now,
It does.
but it's black, white and gray. I'll share this tip too.
Mhm.
White and gray Mofajang mixed with Eco Styler. So I put white and gray Mofajang in here,
Mhm.
and then I add Eco Styler because that thing flakes. So
Mm.
when I have this concoction. It's actually a mix of 1/3 Hawaiian Silky
Mhm.
Dry Look Gel Activator, one
Okay.
third of this,
Mhm.
right? One part, I should say, one part of this
Mhm.
mixed with 2 parts of Eco Styler, and
Mhm.
that makes it not crunchy for me. I've been doing that for years. But
Right.
then when got the zhang introduced, so
Mhm.
I mixed the white and the gray Mofajang in here, and then
Mhm.
I dump in a whole lot of my mix of
Right.
Eco and the gel,
Right.
and it doesn't dilute the color. So I
Mm.
could put as much gel as I want in here. It does not
Got
dilute
it.
the color, but it makes it more softer gel-like, and it reduces
Mm.
the flaking of the Mofajang. So I mix it in here, which is just a
Okay.
ball thing that I got at Walmart. And so
Okay.
I store my gray in here.
I
That surprised me. I'm like,
Wow.
girl, don't do me like that. I was looking for a whole head of white hair. What is you doing? What is you doing? No, I was like, no. And you know what's interesting? I love the multicolor in everybody else,
Mhm.
but I see it on me and I'm like, no,
Mm.
Mofajang. No,
Mm.
not doing the multicolor.
You ever think about putting a color one on your besides the gray?
Oh, I do all colors.
Oh, you do?
I just happen to do gray today because I'm like, this is a gray hair interview. But 2 days
Right.
ago, I was blonde.
So then it doesn't stain.
Does not stain my hair at all. But it's probably because the way that I do it is when I shower, I put this in here, which is Hawaiian Silky 14 in 1.
Okay.
This is my leave-in. So I put
Mm.
this leave-in,
Mhm.
and then I put my mixture of Eco and
Activator.
the activator, right?
Mhm.
I put that in first.
Mhm.
So usually I shower at night. So I shower at night, I put that in, I let it dry, I go to bed. The
Mhm.
next day I wake up, then I put this in.
Mm.
So this is laying on top of an already layer of Eco
Got
Styler,
it.
and I don't have my hair is very not porous.
Okay.
Very not porous. And I think people with more porous hair probably would have more of a concern there.
Sorry.
Texture didn't change, it didn't
Okay.
get more dry. What I noticed though with the lower hair is the right side of my hair is more baby fine. Never noticed that before.
Mm.
Like this whole side is
Mhm.
baby fine hair, and
Okay.
this side is way thicker.
Mhm.
But this side, especially like right here, it's like
Right.
I have to go like put the gel and go like this for it to turn
Mhm.
into curls because
Mhm.
it's like baby wispy fine, like right here for some
Wow, but
reason.
your curls are so I think your curls might be bigger than mine. Like
In
the diameter.
places, in places.
Okay. Only when it's in a wash and go state like this can you see it look like real full and thick or dense. But they're
Yes,
very fine
I'm
little
just like that. Like
strands
I could
like
never
this.
do a braid out.
Yeah,
It looks really thick when I wear it out, but
right.
if I try to do a braid out, it's a mess.
Got it. So are you thinking of growing out your hair? Or are you gonna keep it short?
No, not right now, honey. No. I am truly, this is so easy. I
Got
don't want
it.
to deal with no more hair. It's like, no, for a while. I'm sure I'll grow it out eventually. But
Yeah, but
I'm
for
like
now,
you, it always be tapered, or even though I may grow this out and get my hair back in my face.
right. So do you wash your hair every day then?
Probably every other day, I
Okay.
would say. I have to be honest, every time I get in the shower, which is every night,
Mhm.
I want to just wash it because it's
Right.
so easy.
Yes.
But sometimes I'm like, I don't feel like putting gel in my hair again
Right.
because once you put the gel in, you can't go to bed until it's dry. But
Right.
when I don't put anything in it, I can just go to bed.
Got
You
it.
know what I
Got
mean?
it.
And I'm certainly washing it way more than when I
Right.
had longer hair because it's effortless.
And when you do the color, and you put it the next day, do you just leave it the next night like it doesn't transfer?
Yeah, yeah. I put my regular satin cap on.
Mhm.
It does flake,
Okay.
It flakes a whole lot less when you mix it with the, you know,
Mhm.
the gel and the
Gel, right.
activator. When you
Mhm.
put it on your hair and you sleep on it,
Right.
it transfers to your scalp.
Oh,
So because my hair is short and thick
right.
enough curly,
Mhm.
you can't quite see the scalp transfer, but like right
Mhm.
here
Yes.
where I have lines and stuff, I could see that it transferred, but I take a little Q-tip and I just rub it off the lines.
Love it. Love it. It's so
Gotta
true.
make it work, girl. So
Okay.
my wash day actually is bentonite clay. So
Got
when
it.
I hop in the shower, well, every time I hop in the shower, I want to wash my hair now, but 2 or 3 times a week when I hop in the shower, I do tresemme.
Mhm.
So I I just, you know, stand under the shower and then I put this in.
Mhm.
And then I have a mix of a deep conditioner that I mixed myself, which is the mix of tresemme and um, aloe vera gel and oils. And
Okay.
that's my deep conditioner. So
Okay.
sometimes I put that in, but most of the time I get in the shower, I put this in, and then I put a cap on while I have it in my hair. And then I kind
Mhm.
of wash my body. And then I take the cap off and I wash this out. And
Got
then that's it. And then I go with the leave-in, which is
it.
the
Right.
Hawaiian silky leave-in. And then I go with the gel
Gel and activator.
and the
Nice.
jang jang.
Yes. Yes. So
Gel and the jang jang.
I love that it's a simple routine because I know when my hair was shorter, that's one thing I missed when it was shorter. There was less to do than when, even though my hair is still short, it is long. There's
I
a
know
lot
what
of
you mean.
shrinkage.
Yeah.
And in order to keep, because I notice people be like, you got to do this, you got to do that. And I'm like, hey, you don't have to. But this is what I do to keep my hair. Like, do you notice any more dryness than usual, or like your routine keeps it?
Mm-mm. And this is pretty similar to the routine I had prior to doing my hair. I just do it more often now.
Right.
But no, my hair is not more dry. I think it gets more dry because I will notice that after a couple of days, the back of my hair that's baby fine feels drier if
Mm-hmm.
I don't like re-wet it and, you know, put some more gel in there to
Right.
keep it moisturized, because the activator has glycerin in it, and that my hair really loves glycerin.
Got it.
My hair does not like heavy oils and things.
Mm-hmm.
Oils and butters don't do well in my hair. It just sits on the top because it's non-porous.
Right.
But glycerin does very, very
Is
well.
what is your advice to those who are on the fence or they're just starting their gray hair journey?
My 3 words is do you, boo. You
Mm,
know, just go inward. What do you want to do? Not for anybody else, not for anybody's approval, not to be accepted, not to, what do you want to do? If you want to color your hair for the rest of your life, do that. If
mhm.
you want to go gray suddenly, like I did, do that. If you want to go gray gradually, do that. If you don't want to go gray until you're 90, do that. You know what I mean? It's just do whatever you want to do. You know, some people will look at me and go, well, you're still coloring it if you don't want to accept. Well, look, listen, there's a lot of hair Karens out there. Call the hair popo Karen. That's okay. I'm okay with putting my jang jang in my hair because I want it to be one color. You know,
Right.
you
Mhm,
may hear,
mhm.
don't want to go gray right now. I mean, I'm on these gray hair channels, but you know what? Genuinely, I'm not ready. And if you're not ready, go on with your life. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right,
Don't
right.
hold it on like, you know, hold on to it like it's something you have to do. Just
Mhm.
do whatever you want to do. So I went out, and the first store that I stepped in, first day, suddenly silver, right? Like I was
Mhm.
literally suddenly silver. And this guy looked at me and he was like, your hair looks magnificent. And I
Mm.
was like, I have never been hit on for, and I've been hit on, but I have
Right.
never been hit on for my hair. And then
Mhm.
literally the next day I went out, the next weekend that I went out, another guy in the store. He was like, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. And I didn't realize he was talking to me. And he was like, and then I looked around, he was like, your hair is very pretty. And I'm like,
Mhm.
guy number two hitting on me just for my hair. And then
Right.
I went to the Goodwill to donate something, and
Mhm.
the guy was looking at me, looking at me, looking at me, and then finally he blurts out, girl, that hair. And I'm like, what is this all of a sudden? It's like, I have never been hit on for my
Right.
hair. And again, I would say when you feel good inside, everyone feels it.
Mm-hmm.
And life reflects back to you what you're feeling. So if I'm walking out going, I love my hair,
Mm-hmm.
then that vibe is out there with me. You know what I mean? And life just reflects that back to you. Because I know a lot of women are like, well, if I go gray, nobody will be, I can't get a
Yes.
guy. I'm
Right.
single. I could get one. You know what I
Right.
mean? They were coming. And the funniest story was like, I was going to this Indian store that is right across the street, right across the way from a barber shop in this little shopping center. And it's an Indian grocery store. And I walked by the barber shop, and this barber was coming out on his smoking break. And
Mm-hmm.
he was like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, I'm gonna give you my card because I like your cut. And I'm like, he goes, who's your barber? And I'm like, I do it myself, sir. He was like, you do them lines yourself? And I'm like, yes, sir, I do. He goes, look, don't be trying to put a brother out of a job. That looks good. I'm like, thank you very much.
Wow.
So it's interesting how we think when we embrace our gray hair, everything's going to go downhill from an attraction
Right.
perspective. You know what I
Right.
mean? But it all is what's inside of you and how you feel about you.
Mm.
That is going to be reflected back to you when you walk out into the world. When I first cut it and I first got the buzz cut, I was going to the barber. So I went to the barber a couple of times and I'm like, you know what? I just don't like being here. I don't
Right.
like it.
Right.
So I literally went to YouTube. I watched so many videos on how to cut your hair. There's a girl on YouTube. I'll send you.
Beauty
She's really
cut
good.
right.
What's that?
Beauty cut right.
Yes. Yes.
She,
Beauty
I
cut
saw
right.
her from a
Yes.
long time ago and tapered the taper cut. She does her own wigs and stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. That's why I love YouTube. YouTube is a university. Like
I
you need to know
know.
something. You want to find a product. You want to
You
know how
can
to do
find
something.
anything on YouTube.
It's
Beauty Cut Right was the one that I watched over and over
okay.
and over. And the
Okay.
first time I was scared, trust. First time I was very scared,
Right.
But now it's easy because
Yes,
it's
because you've
all
done it
pretty
a
much
couple.
one length except for the
Right.
sides. And I know how to do these lines, I know
Mm-hmm.
how to do that. So this is easier than what I had before. Because
Right. Right.
before, this is just the sides. What I
Mm-hmm.
had before was, the whole back had the line going all the way down the
Oh
back. So I
wow.
was like in the mirror going,
Yes.
trying to get those lines in the back. But I mastered it after a while. I did it for a few times and I got the hang of it very quickly. But it takes some practice, for sure. It
Yeah.
takes some practice. They have clippers now where it's shaped like one side is longer and one side is shorter. Beauty Cut Right has a video where she mentioned it, and that's how I knew that it existed.
Okay.
Because you know how the sides of your tapered cut is short here and long here?
Yes.
They
Yes.
have a clipper that is longer here and shorter here, and you just go like this and you give yourself a tapered cut.
Wow. I would love to hear what you enjoyed from Alison's interview, what your takeaway was. It was definitely a pleasure to interview her and have her share her story with you guys. I definitely look forward to the next interview, and I thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.